Ian, what's the overriding emotion after that one? Frustration?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought we were really, really good in the first half. Quite good control of the game. I thought we were the aggressors really in the game. They came out second half. They took big risks. You could see that they played really a lot of direct balls and a lot of balls into our half, and they are a difficult team to play against because they have willing runners. They play forwards every time they get the ball, and you have to be absolutely on it to get anything out of the game. But I thought even towards the end of the game we had some good counter attacks, and probably we maybe edged it on the chances, but the second half was probably more open than I would have liked it to have been. I would have liked to have controlled the game a bit more in the second half.
Do you feel hard done by only coming away with a point, or do you think it's about right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I thought it was a fairly even game. They had a lot of threats, and they played a lot in our half in the second half. But probably we had the bigger chance, especially towards the end, like Ruben at the end, and we had some bigger chances. So maybe on the balance of chances, and I thought there was a big hint of handball for their goal, which was a bit disappointing as well.
Yeah, I was going to come to that and do the goals in chronological order, but we're doing back to front now.
Okay.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because it certainly looked like the ball had almost got scooped in the lead up to the goal. Looked like it could have been handball, and then there was a lot of opportunities as well, in fairness, for Notts players to try and get the ball under control, but it seemed to be bouncing off the feet.
I think the disappointing thing is we kind of stop and appeal, which is a natural instinct, but at the same time the whistle don't go, and then they maybe just get a run on us. So we have to play and not stop. But for sure he's scooped it with his hand and played it through. But you know, I get a bit lost because they change the handball rules every year, and I asked the referee, and he says yes, he scooped it and played it with his hand, but a different player scored. So apparently you can do that now, which is strange, but if it's handball, it's handball for me. But I also don't think the refs get helped, because every year we have a new referees meeting and they change the handball rule and nobody's none the wiser. So listen, we can't stop. We have to play until the whistle goes. They were a little bit sharper on that and got the goal, but even after that I thought they had some set pieces which they were dangerous from, but I think the bigger chances in open play and counter attacks were probably us.
Yeah, sounds a confusing one, that. Talk to me about the first goal though, the Notts goal, which was a whole lot more straightforward. It's a great cross and it's a brilliant header.
Yeah, I thought we looked a little bit more dangerous on the set plays. It helps with Kyle Cameron and Lacey because they detract from players like Ruben, who's also strong in the air. You know, and it's a brilliant header, great ball. So really happy to get a goal like that, because we play against a team that really hasn't conceded many goals. And I thought, aside from that set piece, we did create a few good chances as well.
It always felt like a game though, once you had got that lead, that you would have. It sounds like an after-timer now that I'm saying it, but it felt like it was a game where you'd perhaps need a second goal to kill it off.
Yeah, because they're very, very attack-minded, and they put a lot of bodies forward and they play forward, so you feel like they are going to get chances, whether that's set pieces, and they get a lot of, because they play most balls straight forwards up the pitch and they get a lot of runners. It's a lot of random play, you know. It's not a lot of patterns that you can predict. So it's
How do you game plan for that?
It's really difficult. You have to have a lot of players positioned to pick up second balls. You have to be really aggressive on the first contacts and make sure you've got good covering positions. And I thought in general we did that quite well, and kind of cope with their threats that way. But it is difficult because it's so unpredictable the way that they play, and that's a big challenge. But you know, we knew the second half could go like that, and it's more open a game than probably I would like. I think we could have controlled it, especially when we got into their half a little bit better. But listen, it's they've been on fire at home, you know, off the back of losing at the weekend, and with only a couple of days and two tough away games, I think a point is a solid return. Yeah,
did it feel like the performance that you were looking for after the poor one at the weekend at Eastleigh?
I think it was the mentality, really. I felt like at Eastleigh we came off it a little bit. I didn't think we ran with a purpose. I didn't think that we were intense enough in any of our play, and I thought we were much more like ourselves, and that gives us a good foundation to go into Saturday's game now.
There was a goalkeeper on the bench this evening, but I assume that is because you didn't have anybody else to put on the bench. So no Naman, no Jim O'Brien, no Connell Rawlinson. What's the latest on the man? Because I know you'd sent him for an X-ray.
Yeah, he's got a small fracture in his hand, so that needs to be cast, and that'll be a few weeks now. So we'll lose him. Yeah, and Jim's back. He trained today, so he'll be ready for the weekend. And Connell was not feeling great, but he said he felt much better today. So maybe Connell's back by the weekend as well.
a good point here this evening, but a good point's made much better, isn't it, when you follow it up with 3 points at home, and that's the task next, I guess, against Dagenham.
Yeah, I think it's important, certainly with teams that have been flying and in and around us, that when we go away from home, we don't get beat. Of course, being 1-0 up, we want to go and win the game, but we don't do that today. But it's an important point still, and I think now we go home, and we've been so strong at home. We've got 2 home games now, and we prepare for that.